How often do you drink kombucha, and how much do you drink at a time?
I drink kombucha every day in the evening and 1 quart every day.
Do I hear something from the peanut gallery? Is he mistaken?
I don't know that that's a good example, but that's what he does. Kind of a lot, but he can handle it.
Yeah. Is too much too much?
That's controversial.
I've never heard the controversy in it before, so that's why I'm kind of intrigued by it.
Well, probably it's a non-issue now.
Some people think that fungus is the cause of some diseases, and so they are concerned about kombucha because of that root of that. Phyllis had a situation where she drank some kombucha and had some issues, and then we ended up taking you off of that, and then it got well, right?
Interesting.
Caused a ton of inflammation all of a sudden. I hadn't drank any for a long time because I liked how I used to make it, and then some friend had some when we drank it, and
So maybe it was just the type or the
I know, but we
flavor
have
of
been
it, or
overexposed to fungus through mold in the house.
Mhm.
So I think we are sensitive to it for that
Yeah, a little
reason.
oversensitive.
I don't think everyone is.
I had a subscriber send me a start, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is awesome!" And yeah, this is in a little jar and stuff, and it was great. And then she said, "Okay, well, do this, and then put it like on top of your refrigerator for a while." And then we saw it again. We were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this." And then we looked at it, and we're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Okay, let's do that." And it was thick, so we made just a thin layer of it and put it back and gave the rest to the chickens. And then we're like, okay, well, we'll do this again. So we waited a week or so, and then we were ready. And so we're going to do this tea and, just do a video about how to do it and stuff. And we got halfway through. There was a part in there where you're supposed to add something to it and then let it sit for, I want to say it was sugar, but I don't know if that's right. But you're supposed to add something to it and then let it sit for a few days, and then we forgot about it again. So now we have this gallon jar with maybe like half of it was the SCOBY that was on it, and we were just like, okay, you know what, that's it, we're done for now, we're getting ready to do these things, and we'll start again at another point. Yeah, so I never got to try it, but it looked interesting. Okay, let's see here.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
Well, I just use green tea and sugar. Now, during the summer, what really makes it awesome, when you get fresh fruit, like after the kombucha's done, you juice strawberries or raspberries. It's like a champagne. It's like over the top.
You let it sit about 2 days or something with that in it then?
No, I mean, right before I drink it, I just
okay.
add it right to the kombucha.
Uh-huh.
Just, oh man, it's just like over the top. I also like ginger, and I'll slice ginger up, and when I make the tea,
Yeah.
put it in there, and that makes it really good.
Yeah.
I did that for Devorah's wedding, and boy, everybody loved it. I took 3 gallons to the wedding. Then everybody's like, wow, this is.
This one might excite you a little bit. I have no question, but I want to send Paul and me, and I will take it, by the way, some of those avocado trees that are cold hardy. I was watching one of the videos when something was mentioned about Paul growing avocado trees, and was informed that there are trees raised here in Texas that are cold tolerant to as low as 15 degrees. And they are indeed that tolerant. I have 10 of them that are 12 years old and now producing. I live in the northwest central area of Texas Hill Country, and they have endured freeze after freeze. They do suffer a little damage, but bounce back every time. I believe that they would do well for you and Paul. You give so much by doing the videos, and Paul is such a wonderful giver as well. Y'all are such a wonderful blessing, and I really want to do this for you guys, so please don't tell me no. I will not accept it.
Well, I would love to get a avocado, and I go plant it over in Swim where it's warm, and I'd really try to protect it and nurture it, because if I could get avocados here, man, I would be, wow.
Okay, so the address is on the screen right now for Paul, and the address is on the screen right now for me. So go ahead and send those out. Does David want one? I don't know, but if possible, to get a third one, maybe.
I can't imagine it making
one
it
for
15
David.
degrees, because it's a broadleaf evergreen. And at 15 degrees, man, that's broadleaves aren't going to survive.
Well, I know I saw this avocado tree that he's talking about on John Kohler's growingyourgreens.com website. And he did a video out down there where he was talking about it, and the nursery that has them will not ship out of state. So if you want one, you have to go there and buy it.
And haul it out.
And so if he's willing to ship us some from Texas, then thank you very much, Ken.
Yeah,
Definitely send them, and we'll give them a shot.
Yeah, I got a place where, like, with the building, there's a garage in the house, and the spot there is just like really hot. This is really protected, and
That'd be
know
a spot.
exactly where I put
You know
it.
exactly where to go. Over in Eastern Washington, the summer's definitely hot enough for any of that. In fact, the nurseries there sell like orange and lemon trees and stuff, but the winters are way too cold for anything, and it's just that weird extreme that on both sides that I can't grow a lot of stuff that really grows well, but it'll die either in the hot or it'll die in the cold. So if you get something, you got it for one season and that's it. Or you got it stored inside or something.
There was a Japanese lady here in town who had a really beautiful Meyer lemon, and she put it on her porch, all summer, and then bring it in the house in the wintertime. And she Meyer lemons are amazing. They at the same time all year long have blooms, small fruit, and ripe fruit. They're amazing the entire year. It's an incredible lemon.
I've never heard of that.
It's amazing. We had them down in California. They're awesome. You always have lemons.
Now this one, I would say, read the book. But
That'll work.
what? It's kind of weird wording. What Paul did before he bought his land, and what was it that made him choose this lifestyle? He grew his family exclusively with food from his garden, but how he managed to cover the costs of purchasing the land, construction of the house, electricity, clothes, car, etc. So, I guess, what did you do when you lived in California, and what for like income, and what made you move out here, and what do you do now for, and really all the time the kids were growing up since you've been here, that let you afford to build the house and buy stuff?
We have a minute.
We got all the time in the world,
I grew
Paul.
up in Los Angeles where my parents grew all of our food on an acre property in Los Angeles. So that was my lifestyle. I realized that's one thing I knew. We went outside to eat because it was always there. So I just lived that way. And so as I got older and started having a family, I realized I can't do that here anymore because property is too expensive. It's not safe to live here. And so I wanted to do that for my family. So I came here with that intent. How I made a living in Los Angeles, the same way I make a living here. I prune trees. And I did well there, and I did well here because it's an art form. And the Bible says that a skilled man will work for kings and work for the common man. And when you have a gift, it makes room for you. So I've had plenty of work wherever I've been because of a gift. And what else was there?
Well, you moved up here because it was so expensive down there.
Yeah,
You're an
and
arborist.
how I made the money to build the house is that we bought a house in Los Angeles, and in 2 years I made $30,000 profit. And with that money, I built my house. And I made a point not to go into debt, so my house never got done. So over the years we kept adding on to it, but we had that amount to get started here. So
Now, when you say you built your house, you didn't hire a contractor. You built
No,
your
I built
house.
that house. I didn't build this. This one was cool because I hired a contractor and it was so awesome. I saved the money for the materials, and I'm working every day at the same rate he is, enjoying my work, and he's building a nice house. So it worked out nice for my wife because I'm not artistic and she likes things nice. And so this was much nicer than that.
The addition
The addition, yeah,
was done by a
right now. It was
contractor,
done
but
by-
the original.
original house I built by myself. We had some friends from LA came to help us, but
Sure.
but we did it ourselves.
And being an arborist, you basically get free firewood for life.
For life, yeah. That was awesome. 35 years. Now I'm not doing trees, so I have to buy it. But for my entire life, I've been able to heat my house for free from the fringe benefit of my work. People paid me big bucks to take out these amazing, awesome, like export trees that were. I mean, I'm talking like clear Douglas fir, I mean, gorgeous stuff. Was a pain. It was a shame. I like make firewood, but there's no drop area, so I had to cut it in pieces. You know. So, but I had great wood. You know, my whole time I've been here.
And let me know if this is crossing a line or anything, but you just said that you don't, or you're not an arborist anymore.
No,
you
I
don't.
can't climb trees. I still prune trees for myself,
Okay.
but because I can't walk and can't put my climbing gear on, I can't get in trees and take them out to get the firewood.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. There is a story in the news in Europe that a man in Germany was killed by eating a zucchini that was grown for seed. His neighbor collected from seed his neighbor collected himself. Does Paul see any danger in collecting your own seeds, and what would be the best way to do it and to store them?
Well, from the beginning of time, all food has come from seed grown by the plant. I mean, that's not a new thing. You know, and all of nature demonstrates that every fall, seeds fall on the ground and they grow. Why this man died, I have no clue, but it had nothing to do with the seed. You know, it's just, I mean, that's not an issue. So collecting seed from plants that grow them has been the beginning of time, it's always done, and it's what I do. When my plants become mature, I collect their seed and I put them in a water dry place, and I plant them when it's time to plant.
I can't see a reason why growing something from seed, especially being a zucchini, would have any harm in a person, but is there a wrong way to collect seed, and what would be the worst thing that could happen? It just wouldn't sprout, right?
Well, I guess the wrong way to collect it premature, as before it's, you know, fully developed, so it won't sprout.
But that's basically it. It just wouldn't grow.
Wouldn't grow, yeah.
Okay. Can you show a video of how you apply your chicken manure, please? And I use rabbits because their manure is non-pathogenic when fresh, and it has the most balanced NPK ratios of manures. Well, that'll have to be for another day.
Well, no, I can do it real easy because I don't use chicken manure. The manure in my yard waste, it's in my garden, that comes in my compost, is probably 1 part per 10,000 parts yard waste. So the manure is lost in the mass.
Mhm.
And because of that, there's no issues. If you have straight chicken manure, it can be hot and burn things, but because it's so lost in the mass, it's not a manure issue.
Okay.
So,
One of the things that people ask me a lot is, can we see Paul use the screen to sift through the composted material in the chicken pen to get the fluffy stuff that he
yeah,
puts in his
sometime
garden?
this fall,
And we're going to
if
have
you're
to do
free,
that at
we'll
some
do
point,
it, you know,
right?
because it's so, and people that do it with me really enjoy it because it's so easy to do, and they're blown away at this. And they get their hands in it. It's, can you believe this stuff? It's just, it's so nice, and it's because it's so lightweight and so accessible. It's really not hard work. And again, it's just like you're getting. People call this stuff black gold for a reason. It's what it is. I mean, and it's such beautiful stuff. And it's just like, a pleasure. This is what I'm so getting compared to when I used to do the hard way. When you connect with God, you have this incredible nutrient benefit, and it's so productive and so easy. Gardening becomes a joy. It's really fun. It's not like I have to do that. Like, I get to do this. This is fun because it just is. It really is. I love getting out there. A guy came here on a tour last week and he got down and he's digging this and he's pulling out this stuff like at elbow level. Look at this. You see how he's it's just soft and like, yeah, this is like fun.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I get a lot of responses from people from the benefit of the pruning times you've videoed. I mean, that lady Karina in it was she called me and says, "Man, we got like 400 pounds of grapes this year. It's just unbelievable. The productions are getting, and it's simply just it's just and her neighbors are she lives in town, like in a residential area, and she's producing this huge amount of food, and her neighbors are like, I can't believe it. She called us. I mean, she said, you won't believe this, but you'll believe it. But it's just incredible.